Hey, this is Esoteric the Red, and I wanted this one to be about um, carving the necessary space in order to do spiritual practices and to let go of some of the hooks that society might have into you. Because I truly believe that, the world as it is, especially if you live in the West, is in and of itself a desert, right? I don't want to necessarily reiterate everything I said in one of my earlier videos, but society has a way of cheapening everything and making, everything brain dead and convenient. You don't go out and meet someone in person. You pull up an app and scroll through faces of people you might want to have sex with. You don't cook a meal. You go out to eat at a fast food restaurant. You don't make content yourself. You consume everyone else's. Uh, you work and work like every day. You know what I mean? And so your life is kind of filled up with everything that you have taken on as a responsibility. And what I want you to know is that nothing actually said that you had to take those responsibilities on. They are advertised and pushed in society. Like marriage is one of them. And I know people are trying to survive help traditional marriage survive and all that, but they've killed it. It's dead. Over half in divorce. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to understand that someone that's rewarded for breaking a contract is going to break that contract, and you will see that trend continue. It's gone. Okay, so if you get caught in something like that, uh, or let me put it this way: so ideas like that society puts out there, those are, in my opinion, those are hooks. You are suddenly going to have a certain amount of strained attention to your partner that really doesn't give you the time to practice spiritual endeavors. Not only that, but if you do get, with a modern day person, it's likely that their head's full of TikTok nonsense and trends and lifestyle choices that really aren't compatible with living a spiritual life. I could see it working if you guys are, like, as they say, like equally yoked. If you're both working on the same type of things, then I could totally see you going on a spiritual journey with someone. But most women I've met, when they find out I'm into spiritual things, uh, they act like they are too, but mostly what they're doing is just performative. When it gets down to actual practicing and stuff like that, you find it doesn't really happen. It's like they're contented with saying that they're that way and believing that they're that way without actually, even being able to enter a meditative state. Even something as simple as that. Even something as simple as a prayer. Shit. It doesn't take much effort to say a prayer. You know what I mean? But there's no practice in their life whatsoever. And so, if you're a spiritual person like me and you really want to devote yourself to practices and truth seeking and things like that, um, relationships just one of those things that are in the way in society, along with your job, which you probably have to work so that you can meet your needs. And so you really got to navigate and look at your life and ask yourself this question so that you can get to where you're actually practicing. Like, for instance, I have a video about how to find the true mind. You're going to have to make time to do that. You realize that? That's not something, if you do that, the person that I taught in IRL, it took him 2 weeks to break through. It was something he had to devote himself to. You can't be shit-faced when you do it. Maybe you could take a couple hits from a bong and do it and be okay, but that's something you've got to make the fucking time for. It's not like you're just going to sit there and break through that barrier, find the gold all within 20 minutes. No, this is something you earn. It's not convenient. What I'm selling you isn't convenience. What I'm selling you is hardship. Honestly, because it's not that easy to look at, the relationship game and go, you know what? I bow out. I'm going to let the clown show go on. Maybe I'll peep in on the circus every once in a while, but I bow out. And then to take that and to put it on other areas of your life. You know what? The car I'm paying for, sure, I can afford a monthly payment, but I'm sick of that monthly payment. I work extra hours to make that monthly payment, and I need those extra hours for my spiritual endeavors, for my truth seeking, for my relationship with deity and God and providence. And so I'm going to sell that car, and then I'm going to work fewer hours and free up more time. I highly, highly, highly recommend to challenge yourself to fast for at least 3 days. Fast for 3 days. Usually when I fast, that's no social media, which I've already deleted all my social medias, so mainly YouTube. I already don't really watch movies. I go to the movie theater every once in a while, and that's it. I go to the movies maybe twice a month, if I go. Yeah, at max is what I'm trying to say. I don't have a TV set up in my house. There's an Xbox that is collecting dust that is not even connected to a TV because I've given up video games. I have given up television. And while I do have YouTube, I got a handle on it. And so I'm serious to challenge yourself to remove as some of the screen time from your life so that you can open up an opportunity to practice deeper spiritual things. And hopefully, if you're interested, there's going to be a lot that I plan on spewing out because it's like I can't shut up. I know I'm mostly talking to the void. I think my top views on one of my videos is 25 views or something like that. But I know that there's also people out there that have to hear my voice. There's got to be. Even if it's only 2-3 people. Even if it's only 2-3 people. That's why I'm doing this. It's the Buddha said, one lit flame, can light 1,000 candles. So if I get 3 people somewhere better, that's 3 less assholes. Highly, highly recommend that you look at how hard we go with the food system. So for instance, I think that you should challenge yourself to give up 2 meats. Okay, so if you're an American, it's very, very easy to find pork, chicken, turkey, beef, whatever you want. I challenge you to give up 2 meats. I personally think that we waste a lot of our farming space. A lot of the food that the farmers grow, it's not food for humans to eat. It's humans for cattle to eat. And then the people eat the cattle. You could just grow that food for people directly. You don't have to do that. And so, I choose not to support the beef industry. And then I don't eat pork either. And I've given those things up. Also, and understand, that can... Sometimes that can get old. It can get old eating chicken for the 3rd day in a row. Or, a bean burrito for the 2nd day in a row. Or a tuna salad for lunch every day. You know what I mean? But, pick something and stop supporting it. Especially when that's about all you can do, you understand that it does have an effect. But this society, with its food, with its social media, and its screen time, and its dead relationships, and its dead-end jobs, has led to an empty spiritual state. And so what I aim to do with this video is to inspire you to remove those useless relationships. Not even just, I should definitely say this, not even just a partner that isn't going anywhere, but family that's down on you all the time, or friends that shit on your dreams, or even time with them. Just so, say, okay, here's another example. Say you're dude, I don't scroll through my phone all the time, blah blah blah. Say you just spend time with your friends a lot. Even that, you might have to do that less to make time for this, to make time to get closer to God and to practice different spiritual states. So I highly recommend, as I've stated in other videos, to pick a foundation. I highly recommend meditation to quiet your mind. You see, right now your mind is probably stuck going one thought after the other. Pop, 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 pop. It probably never stops. Well, there's a space in between those thoughts where they can come in slower and less frequently and less anxiously, and you'll react to them less, because you'll realize a lot of your thoughts, it's just like a train moving, and you can just observe them. You don't have to react to them, but that takes practice. You're not made that way. That's something that I would recommend practicing when you take out the time, when you take crap that you don't need out of your life to free up time in order to have, because look, like I said, like the world is a desert. You've got to dig an oasis with your own two hands, and you might have to do that by yourself. Okay, so get comfortable with being lonely. And when you practice spiritual things, except that not everybody's going to be on board, don't be afraid to be you. And I highly recommend to have a meditative mind. I recommend to try to find the true mind, like I described in one of my videos, and to start there and to work on bringing those holier energies and that equanimity to the surface. Bring that equanimity to your mind. Bring the energy of the true mind to the surface. And again, pick a teacher. And, like I said, I like to pick a rebel, someone like Jesus or Gandhi or Socrates, Gandhi, who said, I'm not going to participate in society. I'm just going to sit down. Thank you. Jesus, who said, I'd rather die. You know what I mean? Socrates, who was trying to question people and enlighten people that maybe they don't know what they think they know, and then they poison them for it. But you can pick anybody that inspires you, anybody who valued virtue and wisdom. I also recommend to force yourself to read, to force yourself. Whatever you like, there are books about it. And I'm going to tell a quick story. I wasn't a huge reader in high school, but I read books. I liked H.G. Wells. I really liked The Invisible Man. I liked Richard Matheson. I liked in 1984, stuff like that. I'd read a Stephen King book every once in a while. But, as time went on, I read less and less, went to college. If the book wasn't related to school, I probably didn't read it. And then really, minus a Stephen King book every once in a great while, I didn't read it all. Well, eventually, even that went less and less and less until I had a friend who recommended me. It's a short book. It's called The Screw Tape Letters. And I thought, he really acted like he liked that book. I'm gonna read it, and I realized I couldn't. I realized that I did not have the attention span to read a short book, and it was a short book. It was a great book, but I forced myself to read 10 pages a day. I forced myself. I had to force my eyes onto the page so that I could get that back. I realized I had lost something. I lost my focus, my attention, And I read all the time now. I probably read a book or two a month, or I try to. It's going to help you with your focus. It's going to help you with your screen time. And I highly recommend reading things that enlighten you. I'm looking at my bookshelf right now, and I've got the Egyptian Book of the Dead that I would highly recommend. Initiation into Hermetics by Franz Barden. I would highly recommend The Mystical Kabbalah by Dion Fortune. I would highly recommend The Secret Teachings of All Ages by Manly P. Hall. I would highly recommend the Bible, the Bhagavad Gita. I would definitely recommend that one. Also, Autobiography of a Yogi. It mentions the Gita a lot in that book, so that would be a good companion book to that. Just fill your mind full of stuff like that instead of slop and the emptiness that is the world today. I highly recommend it.